Hi, I'm Martin, and I want to show you in this session how to fly a plane in a virtual reality flight simulation. So first of all, I want to explain a little bit about the virtual reality components. So let's just start with the head-up display I have here. So I can move my head around and I will just see what I naturally also see. So my head is tracked, and so it feels very natural. And another nice thing is that I can see everything in 3D. Means I can also estimate distances. For example, the distance from my body to this control here, to this flight control, and also all the knobs and things here. I can see it really in 3D and can estimate distances. So the next thing is the flight controller, the virtual reality controller, sensors, or I don't know how it's called, but I would say controller. So this is for both hands, so for the left hand and for the right hand. And it looks in real life pretty much the same. Has the same knobs and the same trigger. So, and I can move them freely around, of course, and from the left side, the upper button has the functionality for another menu, where you can choose different things with the joystick here, the gray one, but we don't need it right now. With the X button, I can place myself back in the pilot seat again, or when I just do it more often, I can change the position from the plane to my chair a little bit, so that I feel more comfortable with it. Then we have also the buttons here on the other side. For the above button, it's the same, it's also the menu, but the below X button is a little bit different. You can see it, it's a zoom functionality. This is useful because the Oculus Rift display is not that high resolution, so I cannot see everything in detail here on the instruments. So it makes sense that I can zoom in, so it's much easier to read the instruments here. So next is the trigger here. With the trigger I have here a beam, you can see that. And I have two things I can do with these beams. It's also on the other side, of course. I can just target to something like a switch here, for example this one, and then I can manipulate it, right? You see that and you hear it. The other option is to move the controller just to something I can change, like this, how is it called? I don't know. Steering wheel, kind of. Now I can push the trigger and then it's sticking to the controller. You see that? I can move that around. When I trigger it again, I release it. And the final thing is the teleporter. It's used with the joystick over here, the gray one, this left side or right side. So I can change my place here in the plane, you see? Or I can, let's open the door. No, this one. And now I can just go outside of the plane. I can look at the plane. So let's see, maybe a better position there. So you see it from the front. And I can, the direction of view, I can manipulate with this nice red thing here, where you see it, and you see it on the joystick here. So I can just turn it around. So I will look back and not to the plane, or because now it's behind me, or I can just look to the plane. So right like this. Now I will go back to the plane. We'll shut the door. It's much nicer, much less big sound here. Then I have something additional. I have also physical pedals for the feet. So you see this thing here in the ground, on the bottom, on the floor. I have also kind of joystick, so physical pedal, so I can move them like this, see? And I can also turn them a bit like this. Okay. But in this case, I just release the brake. I don't want to do that right now. So now I will show you the controls of the plane itself. So this is just a Cessna. And we have different instruments which are kind of useful. Or not kind of, it's really useful. For example, this here, you see the speed of the plane. Here you see the altitude for the plane. And this one, you see how fast you descend or ascend, not ascend, you, how fast you climb or how fast you descend. Yes. And this here is the flight direction. That's compass. Same like this one. That's what you really need for just a simple flight. Then just the other things. This one you don't want to pull because then you quit the engine. This one is to increase the speed. We need it a little bit later. The pedals there on the floor is for the wheel to change the direction of the wheel of the plane and to change the direction of. You see that in the back here? Can you see it? So basically you change the flight direction. But it's not only this one, it's also changed with this one. When you just roll it like that, you see, you can also turn the plane like this. And additionally with the other thing in the back, this is useful for turns, yeah, to fly to the left or the right. Then you can move it to the front and to the back. This is also here, you can see that. So basically, when you pull it to you, then the plane will go up, and push it, then the plane will go down. So, and then I will also show you this one. Maybe a little bit more. You see that? When you have this, you do not need that much speed to climb. So it's very good for starting, for lift off, because you do not need the whole length or a lot of way for that. And it's also for landing very useful because you reduce also the space for landing. But we do not need it that much. Maybe this is just way enough. Okay. Now we have also this parking brake. I will just release it, and I think I have everything explained what I want to explain, what's basically needed. Last thing is when you push here on the button like this, then the wheel brake will also come into play. It means you reduce the speed of the plane, but only on the ground. This is very useful for landing, of course. Now I have to do a short break. Okay, then we are ready to go. At the moment we are on the airfield from Rheinstetten, and I will just take off, make a small circle around the lake in the back, and then come back and land. And I will just use that what I already showed you. So let's start. Just forgot, nearly forgot. Because we have a single engine plane, we have some torque, and this will move the plane to the left. So we have to push forward here on the right to compensate this. Okay, but now just set the plane a bit. Nah, better. So, and yeah. That's a little bit too early. Now we wait. So yeah, already fly, which is nice. Let's see. So now we reduce the speed, right? Even more, so that we are safe to use flaps here. And coming down nice and slowly. And you can see here I have not too much speed. I'm in the white green area here, aiming for the runway. Coming down nice and slowly, as you can see here on the side. And on the last meters I just pull the control gently to me, so that the turn it around. So now I would be ready for next takeoff. That's it, basically. Thank you for watching. And see you next time. Bye.